The Lion and the Jewel, Act-wise summary in detail by Wole Soyinka. Morning. The play opens in the village of Lakunle. Lakunle, the village school teacher, is trying to teach Siddhi, a beautiful young village girl. While she carries a pail of water on her head, she scolds her for carrying in that way, calling it uncivilized and dangerous to her neck. This immediately reveals his character. A man obsessed with Western ideas of modernity and civilization. Lakunle launches into a passionate speech about his vision for Siddhi. He wants to marry her, take her to the city, seat her at a table to eat with a knife and fork, and make her a modern woman. Siddhi is amused but also dismissive. She demands the bride price as a custom requires, but Lakunle flatly refuses to pay it, calling the bride price practice barbaric and degrading. It treats women, he says, like a market commodity. Siddhi retorts that without bride price, people will think she is not a virgin and that she has been damaged goods. She refuses to marry him unless he pays. Their argument is interrupted by the arrival of village women and girls who gather around Siddhi in excitement. They bring in news that a stranger, a photographer, a journalist from Lagos, visited the village some time ago and has now returned with a magazine in which Siddhi's photograph appears. The magazine features Siddhi on its cover and throughout its pages, while the Bail Chief Baroka appears only on a small page inside. This is deeply significant. Siddhi's image has gone out into the world. Siddhi is thrilled and becomes proud, even vain. She begins to see herself as a celebrity and feels superior even to the powerful Baroka. The villagers perform a mime or a dance, reenacting the day the stranger or photographer arrived. How he came by motorcycle was fascinated by the village and photographed everyone, especially Siddhi. The scene ends with Siddhi's pride firmly established and Lakunle's Western idealism exposed as impractical and ridiculous in the village context. Noon. The action shifts to Baroka, the village chief, the lion of the title. He is with his favorite wife, Sadiku, in his bedroom, attempting to wrestle with a young wrestler, a habit that shows his vitality and masculine pride. Sadiku comes to tell Baroka that he wishes to take Siddhi as a new wife. Baroka instructs Siddhi to go to Siddhi and propose the marriage on his behalf. This reveals Baroka's cunning. Rather than approaching Siddhi directly or through conventional means, he works through Sadiku using strategy. Sadiku goes to Siddhi with the proposal. Siddhi, now puffed up with pride from her magazine fame, rejects Baroka contemptuously. She mocks the old man, saying she has seen how small his image is in the magazine compared to hers. She does not want to be the last of his wives, an old man's final conquest. She sends Sadiku away with her refusal. Then comes the play's great dramatic twist. Baroka has apparently told Sadiku in confidence that he is now important. It later becomes clear this is a deliberate lie, a trap. Sadiku, delighted to hear of the downfall of the man who has dominated women all his life, runs to tell Siddhi. The two women celebrate with a dance, gloating over Baroka's supposed powerlessness. Siddhi then hatches a plan. She decides to go to Baroka's house herself, not to marry him, but to mock him to his face and enjoy his humiliation. She believes she is safe because she thinks he is important. This section brilliantly depicts the context of wits and exposes how Baroka's apparent vulnerability is actually a carefully laid trap. Night. Siddhi arrives at Baroka's house What begins as Siddhi's mission to mock the world chief gradually transforms into something else entirely. Baroka is shown to be charming, wise, sophisticated, and crucially not at all important. They have a long and important conversation. Baroka speaks against the railroad that is planned to bypass Illusionle, explaining that he bribed the authorities to have the route changed. Siddhi is shocked. She has assumed he resisted the train out of ignorance or stubbornness. Baroka corrects her. He does not hate the new, but he resists change for its own sake. That destroys the soul of the community. He says he merely seeks to remove the footpaths, the little fertile farms, the rhythm of the village. He shows Siddhi his personal stamp making mission and invites her to imagine their two faces together on a stamp, her beauty immortalized, combined with tradition. This deeply romantic and symbolic gesture begins to win Siddhi over. By the end of the night, it is implied and then confirmed that Baroka seduces Siddhi. She spends the night with him. When Sadiku and Lakunle come looking for her the next morning, a young girl arrives to announce that Siddhi is to become Baroka's newest wife because she is no longer a virgin. Siddhi returns visibly changed. She is no longer the proud, vain girl of the morning. She is subdued. Lakunle, still optimistic, says he will marry her even without bride price now, since she is no longer a virgin. But Siddhi refuses Lakunle entirely, recognizing his offer as patronizing and hollow. He chooses Baroka. The lion has won the jewel. The play ends with the wedding celebrations beginning, dancing and drumming, while Lakunle is swept up in the festivities, even forgetting his heartbreak in the communal joy. The play is ultimately ambiguous in its moral. Soyinka neither fully celebrates tradition nor fully condemns it. Baroka is cunning and manipulative, yet he is also wise and culturally rich. Lakunle is well-meaning but absurd and alienated from his own people. Siddhi, the prize, exercises agency but is also outwit